Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Mitch here, and in today's video, I want to give you some book recommendations that you can take away that I want you to read, that I feel like every entrepreneur should read. They're amazing books, and they're really going to help you propel you in your personal life, but also in your business. I'm going to recommend some business books, as also some mindset books, some productivity books, and really just overall books that I feel can really help change your life and also impact your business and everything that you have got going on. So I've been getting a lot of comments on the YouTube videos on, what are your best books? They always see my books in the background. So I thought I'd make this video and kind of share with you really 5 books, but I might give you two extra ones. But I really want you to just focus on like not the maximum, just like simplicity. Buy these books, and these are books that you're going to be studying over and over again. Anytime I buy a book, I always think about that I'm not just going to read it one time. I'm going to read it multiple times. So I'm really selective on the books I read, and I'm really just focused on what I want to achieve with actually choosing that book. Because there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of information and stuff you could read out there. And so I'm always really cautious about that, and I'm skeptical about just reading a book for the sake of reading. And that's kind of the main point that I want to basically make to you right now before we dive into the actual specific books, because this year, 2019, that's just come and almost done. We're in October, actually November now. So this year, for about the first 9 months, was relentlessly focused on execution, right? I was not necessarily reading a ton of books. And I feel like entrepreneurs, just business people in general, or just anyone in general, they need to read a lot of books, they need to consume a lot of material. And once you have a certain level of knowledge, obviously my first few years, and I'm still constantly learning, but I'm learning from different ways. So if you want to read books, I'm going to recommend some really killer ones that have completely changed my life. But you also want to be selective of that, because you can get caught up on indecision and being overwhelmed with so much information, information overload, that you don't take action on it, right? So for the first 9 months of this year, I was really just relentlessly, violently taking action. I barely took my head out and, looked around and saw anything. I was really just action. And that helped us scale the business, to multiple 7 figures now. But I had to do that action, and I learned in the actual field, actually taking relentless action every single day, getting the feedback, and I'm learning as I'm doing. And the best way to learn and to internalize things is by actually doing. So just reading a lot of books won't do much for you, but not to cancel that. You want to be continuously, feeding your knowledge, feeding your awareness of putting in new things into your perspective, into your awareness. So reading is immensely valuable. I've read a ton of books. I read basically 95% of these books. The ones that I haven't read, I recently just ordered. So I'm going to get to those ones. But without further ado, let me share with you the first book that you have to go buy right now and on Amazon. So this book, I recommended it before, but it's PsychoCybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. This is an incredible book. It's about it's about your basically self-image and your identity, how you see yourself, and really it's basically just feeling as if you are this person already and the person that you're becoming. And so this helped me a lot with identity, and especially if you have if you ever felt imposter syndrome, or that you're growing into this new version and your old self is kind of holding you back. This book is amazing for that. It also will help you to set the goals that you have and actually achieve them. And it also would help you cultivate just how your self-belief, your confidence in yourself, because the thesis of this, Maxwell Maltz was actually a doctor or a plastic surgeon, and what he was doing was he would go in and he saw that every time he would perform on a patient and he would actually make them look better than they came in, they still thought they looked ugly, and that they weren't their self-confidence actually didn't increase. They actually sometimes decrease, and he was wondering, they look better. Why is that? It's because the way someone sees themselves and their identity and their self-image plays a massive impact on how they're going on the world, their confidence, their just self-belief in themselves. And so it can really stir some tension, or you can be at grips with yourself in your subconscious mind, or even just your mind in general, like replaying certain things that happened in the past failures, past mistakes. I'm not good enough. Maybe your childhood plays a massive role. So this helps you to really uncover those things and really just feel and become this new version of yourself and cultivate yourself into this success. And he talks about like all humans are success-seeking mechanisms. So PsychoCybernetics, it's basically along that lines of humans are goal-seeking mechanisms. So you're always optimizing for goals and achieving goals. Like, for example, picking up this book. My goal in my mind was to pick up the book. So he talks a lot about that and how you can start to frame this in your own mind and start to achieve the things you want to achieve and become the person you want to become. So this is massive, massive for sales. If you're in sales, if you're just in business in general, anyone in life, I would highly recommend this book. Pick it up, PsychoCybernetics. Really, really amazing book. And then another book I highly recommend is a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. And its subtitle is Get a Grip on Your Business. This one really helped with really just having key performance indicators or like certain numbers that we're looking at constantly all the time. So weekly numbers, daily numbers, also like what team members are, responsible for certain numbers, and so that we can like hold them accountable based on this number. And he was saying that everyone has a number in the business. So even like support tickets that are being solved, the happiness score of the customers, even like, for example, if you have outbound sales reps, how many actual people are they reaching out to? What's their conversion rate? How many people are booking into actual appointments and closing of the sales? All these things. So everyone has a number, and you got to distill your business to the key numbers that you can have your finger on, and just really have the finger on the pulse of your business. So this really helped with that. It also helped with like conflict and stirring conflict within a team. If you have a team, this will help with that as well, and really just removing bottlenecks from the business. So I highly recommend this one. This one is a great book, and it's all about like also having a vision for your business, then breaking it down into a mission, breaking it down into like what do you actually need to do to achieve that. And so this book has been really, really valuable. Even just the certain things that you'll get out of it in the first few chapters will be totally worth picking up this book. So Traction, great book, especially for business. If you're in business, definitely highly recommend this one. And a book that I recently, I'm actually about 90% finished this book right now. It's called Deep Work. This book is awesome. So in today's age, everyone is addicted to their smartphones, addicted to social media, addicted to distraction. And really what it's doing in these days, and what people don't realize, is these apps are literally designed to basically feed off that distraction, like notifications, all this stuff that are pinging at you to take you away from the actual focused work that you need to do to create leaps and bounds, those quantum leaps within your business. And there's little things that are hacking away at your actual productivity. And there's a quote, it says, you want to hack away at the unessential. And so you want to hack away at the distractions, the things that are pulling you away from the things you know you need to do and you should be doing and that you need to do more of, and just focus on those things. And so a lot of people, I feel, in today's days and age literally get sucked into distraction. So this says rules for focused success in a distracted world. And so what I really got out of it was, in today's age, it's so uncommon for people to sit down at their desk for, say, 4 hours with uninterrupted, not looking at their phone, not touching anything, and literally doing some deep work, like going deep into your craft. And this is what helped me massively. This has helped me cultivate this. And I've been doing this from a while back, just based on, I know you need to become a master at certain things, and you need to focus on one thing. So he talks about that, mastering one thing, just going really depth into that one field, and becoming world class at that. And he gives an example, a story that I really, really like and that's stuck in my mind now, is of, what's his name? His name is Carl Jung. If you're not familiar with Carl Jung, kind of slipped my mind there for a second. And one of the things that he did was, Sigmund Freud at the time was a really, world-renowned psychologist. I think he was a psychologist. And at the time, he was like the competitor of Carl Jung. And Carl Jung was obviously trying to create better, more groundbreaking things within that field. And one of the things was he had his own practice. And so he lived in, I'm pretty sure, Switzerland. And he was in the city, and he had his own practice. So he was going, clients were hitting him up. He'd go to like this coffee shop, and he'd be very like social and interactive with them. But to really create leaps and bounds in his personal or his professional life and become the person he is today, like Carl Jung is rolling out his work. If you don't know about it, you should really study it because it's really profound. And so what he did was he actually went to Lake Zurich in Switzerland in a cabin in a house, and literally he had this one room in his cabin on a lake in his lake house where he had a key to it, but no one had access to the key, and you had to have permission to even come in this room. And literally what he would do is for certain periods of the year, he would literally keep himself and lock himself in that room, and he would literally just read, write, he'd go on walks. He wouldn't be in the day-to-day actual distraction or pinging around like he was doing at his practice, actually helping patients. And so he was here creating that deep work and going deep inside of what he was doing to create this world-renowned stuff and he actually surpassed Sigmund Freud on certain things within his work. And so that story really resonated with me because, again, a lot of people these days are so cunning to distractions. They're going out meeting people for lunch and stuff, and they're always on their phones looking at their notifications, looking at email, and they're not going deep in their work. And so I really started to, a while back, even to this day, I'm going deep into my work. I'm blocking out certain blocks of time where I don't talk to anyone. My phone's literally on my drawer. My family actually gets mad at me because anytime they try to reach me, they can't go straight to voicemail. If you try to call me any time of the day, you will not reach me. Usually email, even with certain things. I batch and queue certain things, so I only do it at these times on these certain days of the week, and then I can batch my time effectively and not go into distraction. And so that's one of the things that has helped me immensely, just with my own clarity on what I'm doing, and also my work has been getting so much better. And that's how I was able to really create groundbreaking stuff on sales and marketing and LinkedIn, the whole process that we do to get clients. And that's what we're continuous doing, is reinvesting into that. So this book, Bill Gates even does this. He blocks out about a week every single year or 2 weeks where he has these reading vacations where he goes to a lake house with like 10, 15 books or 50 books, whatever he does, because Bill Gates, he can read a lot. He brings these books and just studies, just sits there, blocks out time. So if you want to cultivate something of multi-billionaire, probably the most successful person besides like Jeff Bezos, but Bill Gates gave away a lot of his money. So I would definitely do that and start to go and follow what highly successful billionaires do. So great book, pick this up and stop using social media and don't give in to distraction. This book will literally change your life. Another great book, business book, Ready, Fire, Aim. The sub is 0 to 100 million in no time flat. So this book I read this a while ago. I read this probably 2 or 3 times. This book is amazing. So it talks about like really the fundamentals, like the stages that you need to go through to take your business from even like 0 to like $1 million per year. And it's everything that I preach too, is like to get to $1 million, and I've done this, so I know from experience, you really only need to do with like one product. And one product or service, one niche market, and one like specific sales process that you're doing can get you to $1 million per year, 100 grand per month. You could do that with just one product. So he talks about the stages from going from 0 to $1 million, and then $1 million to $10 million. So to $10 million, he talks about like launching other products, getting people from your already existing customers, upselling them into the back-end products, and how to structure your team, how to build out the team, how to do marketing and sales, how to upsell past clients, different strategies like that. And then going from like 10 million to like 25, I think he does like, there's a step in between, but really 10 million to 100 million. So what the step that would be, and then taking that from 100 million plus. So he's, Michael Masterson, he's built multiple, I think like $300 million companies, $500 million company. So this book has been, I'll also give you a foundation on copywriting, sales, marketing, your value proposition. So a lot of these things that I've applied into my business has been so key for growing our business. And so Ready, Fire, Aim, great book. I highly recommend it. You should literally go on Amazon and buy all these books that I'm recommending, because they will literally change your business and your life. So this book, Ready, Fire, Aim, amazing book. Go pick it up. And then really the last book, but I may give you another book or two that you guys can take a look at, is Principles by Ray Dalio. This book is incredible, especially I found now I'm starting to see like the work principles, because before I had a team, I read this book and then I actually reread it recently again. The part on work principles, I'm starting to wrap my head around it, and these are like, this book is almost like a Bible that you come back to over and over and over again. You're never just going to read this book one time, but the life principles, like the first half of it, even listening to his story, Ray Dalio, he's the owner of one of the largest hedge funds in the world. I think he has $162 billion assets under management, which is obscene. He is massively successful. I think he's worth like 20-something billion himself. And so he's multi-billionaire, very successful guy, and it's distilled into like 600 pages or 500 pages. So this book is so valuable. It's literally something I come back to constantly whenever I want to read a principle, whenever I want to read about something that I can apply to my life. Making better decisions, this book will help you with. So making decisions, having your own algorithms for making decisions, basically seeing pain and reflection is what equals progress, is what he says. So pain plus reflection equals progress. So anytime you experience pain and you reflect on it and you get the feedback from that, you can feed it back through, and then you can propel yourself forward into obviously progression and growth. And so everything talks about with even just how you're going about interacting with other people. And one of the biggest things that I took away from this was like, you have to really accept people sometimes for how they are and not how you expect them to be. And that was something that I couldn't really comprehend, because as me, like, I'm a guy that's very optimistic, that is all about like potential and seeing potential in other people. But sometimes you have to just see what the person's actual human nature is, and what their personality types are, how they actually are, and to see them for how they really are. And obviously you want to still help people to progress and grow, but sometimes it's about accepting people for who they are and utilizing different principles to apply to that specific type of person so you can interact better with them, whether that's in the workplace, whether that's in your personal life. These principles really, really help. So it's been massively valuable for me. This book literally changed my life as well. So I recommend picking all these books up. So Principles, Ray Dalio; Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson; Deep Work by Cal Newport; Traction by Gino Wickman; and PsychoCybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Another great book that I'm reading right now, which I'll just give you a bonus one, is Super Thinking. So far, it's amazing. I'm not going to get too much into it. You can pick it up if you want. It's called The Big Book of Mental Models, and it talks about a lot about stuff that Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner, talks about. Really just mental models that you can apply to certain things for your life. So that's another great one. It's a little bit, I'd say, more advanced. I would read these ones first. If you haven't read any of these, pick them all up. And if you have read them, I'd read some of them again because they're really, really good. And so if you like this video, just go ahead, comment below what your favorite topic was, what your favorite book is if you've read it. I'd love to hear your feedback on any of the books I mentioned. And also any other videos that you want to see, because I'm going to be creating these videos almost every week now. So if you have any suggestions, just go post in the comments and let me know what you want to see. Any questions on anything, any videos specifically, and I'll make sure to put that in one of the future videos. But that's basically it for today's video. I'm going to link some things in the description if you want to check them out. Go buy these books on Amazon right now. Get them shipped. Get the Prime shipping and get it in one day. And yeah, hopefully this helps you immensely within your personal life and your business. And make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and shoot me a comment. I'm going to be replying to everyone. So thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.